Pranam Bandhu, my dear friends. Today's topic will be about giving up your own baby, your own child in adoption. I just wonder why you throw away your own child. And just think, when your child grows up away from you, then what that child goes through. When he or she knows that you as the father or the mother have thrown away the child, just as if you throw away the tissue paper, the toilet paper, and flush it off from your memories, flush it off from your life. What that child goes through. What are these kind of women, what are these kind of men who would go through, most of the time, go through a nice sex, nice, I don't want to use the F word, nice that, and then do not want the baby, do not want the result, the action or the reaction of the action they have, the nice action they have had. They don't want the reaction of it. Very few of them are actually rape victims. I know every time I say about this thing, people say rape victims. How many of them are rape victims? We all know. So what kind of women are there who actually give up their children? One of those type of women are those women who do not want to raise the child they have given birth to, and they feel it was a mistake to not take the precaution and have the child, or not kill the baby before, and rather to do that now from your life. Some of the women are actually helpless. Very few of them are actually helpless. They were either raped or they were in a situation where they just couldn't do anything about it, and they had the baby and they want to do nothing with that baby. We can always give these statistics. We are in this times of statistics and we judge things by statistics, but then statistics are not the reality of the world. Statistics are, you must have seen many political statistics, and then the whole thing is useless when the results comes out. And statistics are just, you can choose 10, 50, 100, 100,000 people, and then, but the world is not 100,000 people. As a Satwik, I feel that if a woman or even a man, because generally it is not man's problem, as they say, when you are not married and you want to give your child in adoption. So if you are not married, then either take prevention for not having a child, or take enough measures, enough control, self-control, body control, mind control, and all these controls, so that you do not go for a evil thing of giving birth to a baby that you don't want. If you are going for the sex part, then you have to accept the reaction part. If the sex part is the action, then you have to accept the reaction part. And if you cannot accept the reaction part, then you do not go for that. In those light moments I did that and all these things. Light moments, it was your choice. So it is not a light moment, it is a responsible moment. But at least they are better by giving birth to the baby. It is between the devil and the deep sea. Which one is to choose? Both are. One is devil when you kill the baby in the womb. One is the deep sea when you put the baby in the deep sea, actually. Because however, whatever adoption situations may be, the children of adoption the children who are adopted, however much you love them and however much the parents who adopt them, they do everything for them, but the children, they are always, handicapped within, because when they grow up, slowly they come to know that they are adopted. Slowly they come to know that they were rejected by their parents. I know there was this film called Lion, and where a child is lost and is adopted in Australia, and but how many children are lost after being lost and then they are adopted? Very few. Most of the adoption cases are the unwanted children. Think about the unwanted children. Would you love to call yourself an unwanted child? I was unwanted by my mother or by my father. It's a shame. It's a disgrace. It's a scar for life, because no child ever wants to grow up and come to know that, oh, all this life I have been calling someone mother and father, and they are actually not my mother and father. Somebody else is my mother and father who did not wanted me. So a child who is not wanted, who is rejected at the birth or after the birth, that child will be handicapped within, mentally or emotionally handicapped for life. And the people who are in relationship with those children who were given in adoption, who were rejected by their own parents, these children, these partners, the husband or the wife of this child who was rejected by his own or by her own family, they know what kind of mental instability they always go through, because they were rejected by the most important people who would never reject them, because as they say, blood is thicker than water. So blood proved that blood is useless. Well, there must be exception cases, but then exceptions are always there. But generally, it is a very sick kind of situation. Many people do not say on the face of those children, but then they know inside. I've seen how children from Kolkata and Mother Teresa's place and India, or Africa, they are adopted to some first world countries or to other countries where the parents are colorless or white, and then their children are other different colors, and it's fine. They get a better, they get a better life. But what is the better life without your parents? What is the better life with knowing this thing that I was rejected, I was thrown away by my own parents? So my dear friends, see to it that you are not in a situation where you have to reject your own child. It is your decision to not want your child. But what about the child who doesn't want to be called unwanted? I think people would prefer to be wanted in the police, with the cops, but not unwanted. Everybody likes to be wanted, and even if the parents who adopt them, they really want them, but these children are somewhere shaken within. And that is the reason why it is so important to be a Satwik. Because as a Satwik, you do not put yourself in a situation where you have to give your child away in adoption. That is a beautiful adoption where it is not actually adoption, it is not actually giving up your children. Like in India, we used to have all the children by the age of 5 or by the age of 3, they were, till that time, age of 5 or age of 3, they were with the family. And from the age of 3 or 5, they used to be given to the gurukuls, the spiritual education knowledge places of India, which the English people and the before that, before the English people, the Arabic people who came to loot India, like the English people, they did everything to erase those gurukuls, those establishment of knowledge, those, you know, those spiritual education system. So there the children would come by the age of, and by the age of 3 or by the age of 5, and they were actually adopted by the acharya, by the, you know, a selfless teacher who was who was the head of the Gurukul. And there they were getting all the education and all the knowledge and everything. They were growing up, and then when they grow up, they go back to their family, and then they make the world a better place. Not this situation where the parents make the children unwanted. So if you have a child whom you want to give in a Gurukul system, there are lots of Gurukuls in the world. There are lots of Gurukuls in India also, and you can even give the child to be a Satwik, and then the child grows up and goes to the world and makes the world a beautiful place. There are so many children, they are in resonance with the present day Kali Yugi world, present day world of the darkness. But if some children goes and makes the world a bright place, a beautiful place, do you think it will be a bad idea to give one of your child who is wanted, who is really wanted by their parents, and then they become much more greater human beings, and they are wanted and loved and admired by the whole world? If you have a child like that, you can always give the child to me as his another birth, as a second birth, as a spiritual being, as a Satwik, and it will be such a beautiful thing. I welcome you all to be a Satwik and make this world a beautiful place. Pranam.